everyone. Welcome to another Halloween Season Review. Today is a very special Halloween Season Review. I'm calling it a live road trip audio review, and kind of a mouthful, I know. This is the first time that I've done an audio review, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited to try it out to see if this is something that I want to do more in the future. So, what are we checking out today on How Lou Sees It? Well, Asmodee Digital has been pushing out these board games turned digital for our phones, our smartphones and devices over the last few months, and giving us some amazing games. So I wanted to highlight Asmodee Digital and talk about the board game apps that I've been playing recently, which have been mostly Asmodee Digital releases here over the last few months. And today is a very special day because one of my absolute favorite solo games, Onirim, came to the App Store just today. So we're going to be talking about that as well. So first things first, Colt Express. So, being the huge board game fan that I am, I still have not had the opportunity to play a lot of very popular games, I've realized. Now, when I saw these board game apps being released by Asmodee Digital, I was pretty excited because I have not had the opportunity to play a lot of these games. So, this is one of the things that I really like about the fact that we are now having board game apps and these board games turned to digital. So I love the social interaction of board gaming, but I also just really love the games. And so this provides such a great opportunity to be playing something that I really enjoy during those downtimes. So I have a fairly lengthy commute to work, and I'm lucky enough to have a bus available to do that. So I have a little over an hour commute each morning and on my way home where I can play board games now on my phone. Now before, I would be playing these other, I call them time waster games, puzzle games, Candy Crush, all those sort of things. But now I have so many board game apps that it's really great because I get to experience those games more frequently than I would usually be able to do. So anyway, back to Colt Express. So Colt Express is one that I have not had the opportunity of playing. And it is well known for its three-dimensional setup of this, train. And you have robbers, and you're going, from car to car, picking up, I'm about to say treasure, but picking up money bags, jewels, and trying to collect the most amount of money. So my experience with this is all I've experienced through this game, Colt Express, is through this app. So that's maybe a new perspective or at least that's where I'm coming from in my discussion of Colt Express. So, and it's interesting because right now I have a son who loves trains, and I don't think that's uncommon at all, but loves trains. So pull up Colt Express. The artwork is fantastic. The animation of the artwork is really great too. Now, Colt Express, again, well known for kind of that three-dimensional, adding that three-dimensional element to the board game. So in the app, it's interesting because you still are brought in thematically, through the animations and everything. So, when you pull up a game, the train is blowing past, the landscape, and you have different, night and whatever. And when you go through a tunnel phase where you're placing your cards face down, you're actually in a tunnel. Like, it's really, really well done thematically. I really enjoy how they've handled this app. Now, as far as the gameplay goes, I think it works really, really well. Now, being new to the game, there's been a learning curve for me a little bit because, and I think there always is somewhat, because with the digital versions, they have tutorials, and now the tutorial for Colt Express is great. I really don't have any complaints, but there's still something about kind of being able to ask questions or being able to look in a rule book. So the tutorial is great, and you can play the game, but so there's some of the nuances and things that I think you just kind of have to discover by yourself, or maybe it's just an experience thing. And there's no issue with that. I just want those who have not played the board game before not to play it, one round through and kind of blow it off if you're not understanding it, because give it some time. It's really a pretty simple concept at heart, and the app version also gives you a huge thing. It's a story mode, and it's really fun because the game itself is fun. The story mode adds an element of, that puzzle kind of challenge to it. So each character, such as Doc, is one character that I've played all the way through. They call them chapters or missions, challenges, whatever you want to call them. They're chapters for each character. And so you open up that chapter, you're playing through a game with a specific goal in mind, or goals, and it adds an element of story to it, which is pretty cool. And after you finish each chapter, it unlocks a comic book page related to that character's backstory, if you will. So, pretty cool. And like I said, the artwork's really fun too. And I collect comic books and everything, so I really appreciate that element, that backstory to the characters. Not only that, but the missions are really fun, or the chapters, the challenges. And sometimes, they're fairly simple, and other times they're pretty difficult. And sometimes it seems like a luck thing. Like, you go through it and you're like, oh, there's just no way that could have worked. But it's still fun, and you play it again and again. And once you unlock it, there's that satisfaction. And at the end of each character, if you've played through all the chapters, you unlock one of the special modes. So, for example, with Doc, you are on this train, and I don't want to kind of give away too much of it, but the special mode that he unlocks is, as you're going through the different phases, at the end of each round, the last train car is detached and removed from the game. Any robbers or anything like that they jump off before it detaches to the previous train car, and they have to take a bullet card, I believe is what it was. So anyway, so there's that story mode is very, very fun to play, gives some new challenges to the game, and it gives you a goal and drive to actually play the story modes, because you unlock these really cool different modes, and that's for all the different characters. So there's also an online multiplayer mode, and it's very well done as well. Honestly, I haven't played the online mode as much, just because I've been captivated by the story mode so far. So anyway, that's Colt Express. Very, very fun. Now, the next one is Mysterium, and I've already done a written review of this game, so I'm not going to talk about this one quite as much because I've already done a review on it. But I will highlight the fact that there was a recent update where they have added quite a bit. So they've added, somewhat recently, they've added this ability, and I'm trying to remember now exactly what it's called. I'm probably gonna, I can't remember what it is, but psychic, now I can't remember what they called it. But what the ability is for the ghost, they can now give some nonverbal hints by highlighting a portion of a card for one of the psychics. Now, you are limited in how many times you can use this, and I think it's 4 times. I think it's like 4 times maybe per psychic. You can do that throughout the game. Not exactly sure, but that element is really, really cool, and it can be very beneficial because a lot of times you're picking one card because it's the best option you've got, right? And you can tie it to what you need it to, the room or the suspect. You can tie it to them, but it's pretty specific on that card, or kind of a stretch. So you can actually highlight a portion. So maybe you're picking a card because, it's very, because the card is red, there's something very red on it, and you want them to kind of tie into the suspect card that has a lot of red on their card. So you can highlight or select a portion of a card, and it will kind of give a little swirly icon to the card. Now, they've thought this through really well, so they've added this icon or section so you can see where the ghost is pointing to, if you will, on the card. Now, you can toggle that on and off so that you can actually, okay, that's where they're wanting me to look. I'm going to toggle it off now so I can actually see what they're pointing at better. So I'm really glad they included that. That could have been, kind of disastrous if they didn't, in my opinion. But they included it. Works great. I have played this quite a bit with my wife, just me and my wife, 2-player. We really enjoy it. It's a way to play kind of and if no one's played Mysterium before, this is another game that I have not played in person before, or the original board game version of it. I've just played this app, and me and my wife really enjoy it. We like games kind of like Dixit, Codenames, things of that nature, and this is more along the lines of Dixit or I guess Codename Pictures, but it's very fun because it has that deductive reasoning. Well, I guess not deductive reasoning as much, but the story of, the murderer, the place, and the item, murder weapon, whatever. So, but very, very fun, Mysterium. So next is Potion Explosion, which is probably the most played app in the last month. Easily, hands down. So I have been playing Potion Explosion a lot recently. Me and my wife have through the online mode, we have 2 games going, like, at all times. So we've been pumping through I probably played the game 30 times in the last month. And it's just really, really fun. Now, this is another one where it had an element that really drew people in, I think, with the setup, and you have these little marble type pieces that you set up and on a slant in this little thing. And again, I've never actually seen this in person, so forgive me in my explanation here, but as you take one of the marbles out, then the marbles roll into to fill it in. Now, and when I first looked this up and I was looking at it, it was kind of interesting because it was like the board game seemed to have like elements of, okay, this is almost like as if one of those puzzle games on your phone was taken and made into a board game. And now they've taken the board game and made it into a digital app. And so it's kind of interesting. But I first played it with my wife, and there is a bit of a learning curve because I had played it quite a bit, and I won pretty easily. Now my wife is really smart though. She caught on pretty quick and then has been winning most of the games as of a few days ago. So the game is really fun. It's so simple, and yet the real challenge to it, and so you first get into it and you're kind of like, okay, this is the best move, it looks like, and you take the marble, take any, maybe you have a cascade or two that comes through, an explosion, and you get more marbles and everything. You fill it up, okay, I'm done, your turn. Well, it changes to, okay, no, I have the ability, a very important ability to, and I can't remember what they call it in the game, if it's a cheat or a hint from the professor or whatever, but you can take one of the marbles but you get a negative 2 points with that marble. But setting that up is amazing because you are now saying, okay, well, if I do this and I take this marble and then take my turn, take the marble and get the cascades, I can complete this one potion. And it's very important to try to, at least in my opinion, what I've experienced, try to clear both potions if you can every turn. Like, if you can do it, I think it's beneficial. Now, that may not always be the case, but setting it up so, okay, I completed this potion. Now that potion allows me to get, the 4 black I need to complete the other potion. And so you kind of are thinking, there's kind of this dual thinking going on of, okay, I have this potion and this potion. So it's more of a puzzle than at first glance when you get into it. So, and there's a lot of strategy behind that of what potions to choose. Now, again, you're going to have some potions come up in the library when you complete a potion and you're like, oh man, I really needed this other potion or really wanted this other potion. But that's just another element. You have to adapt to whatever potions come up. So anyway, I've been really, really enjoying this game. Me and my wife have really, really enjoyed it. And the app is great. The animations, again, so it's the same with Colt Express. So they don't have the whole setup and, oh, this is cool, I take this marble out, the stuff rolls down. But thematically, with the animations and the artwork, they still have you there. It's still really fun. So the potions, when they come out, they roll out just kind of, on this like tray type thing, and the sound's great. You hear like the little clinks and stuff, and when you complete the potions, you have this cool like corking, or when you put one of the first balls into one of the potion bottles, there's the little Bunsen burner flips on, and you have like the fluid motion in the potions. And then you have these really cool animations when you choose to utilize those potions. Like, it's so enjoyable to play. The online thing is worked out really well. The one thing that kind of threw me off was I would be online, the online mode, and it tells you how many players are online. And it's like, I've never seen it go above like 2. And maybe it's just the time I'm playing, but the online mode, it seems like people utilize it for more what me and my wife utilize it for. We create a game, and it just keeps track of turns. So I'll I'll pull it up, check the online mode, see what games I have, see which games are my turn, complete the turns, and then I'll, go on to do something else. So there's not a whole lot of players on the online mode at one time as of yet. And I don't know if that's going to change or not, but it's funner, in my opinion, to play against someone that you know. And so it does a beautiful job as far as the formatting and everything on doing that. So Potion Explosion, easily the one that I've played the most. Really, really enjoyable. Colt Express is probably the next one. I really have been enjoying that story mode. Mysterium is also really, really fun. Now, this all may change here as far as my most played Asmodee digital board game app, because Onirim was released today. Now, I have had the opportunity to participate in kind of the pre-release testing of Onirim. So I've been playing it on my phone quite a bit already. It is, again, fantastic. So Onirim has been on my wish list for board game apps for a while now, because Onirim is probably my favorite solo game. It's very enjoyable. So when I saw that Asmodee Digital was doing it, and had experienced Colt Express, Mysterium, Potion Explosion, I didn't doubt that it would be well done. But then I actually got to play it, and I was just blown away. It's so simple. The game is so simple, right? But again, with the artwork and the different animations that they've chosen to do, they've just thematically, again, the incorporation. So like the very first time where you get like a nightmare or whatever, and the nightmare comes up and like kind of holds on to your cards, comes up and swings his arms around on the cards. Now that may sound a little silly, but it looks cool. Okay, so the animations and everything, the music, or the background sounds are great. I usually end up turning the background sounds off in most of my games, just because, again, most of the time I'm playing on the bus. So a lot of times I don't give myself that experience with the sound. But the game is very well done. Now, this is just the solo mode for the base game, but it is so fun. It's such a nice solitaire game, and you can just play it again and again and again and again and again. It reminds me, so I've also recently downloaded and experienced Card Crawl. I think that's what it's called, and Card Thief, which have been also some of the board game, well, not board game, but some of the apps that I've been playing a lot recently. Card Crawl and Card Crawl and Card Thief. You want to check those out too. Those are pretty fun. But Onirim, very well done. The interface is great. The choices that you have with the nightmare as it comes up makes it very nice, where you're able to select, okay, this is what I'm going to do, and then you actually have to go click on another space. So, for example, if you have a key in your hand when the nightmare comes up, you can discard one of those keys to, handle that nightmare. So you can select the key, and then you actually tap on the key card in your hand to discard it and get rid of the nightmare. And that does a couple of things. First of all, it keeps it from having, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Second of all, when you have two key cards in your hand, you need to select, okay, which key card am I going to do? But it's really cool that they have, like, on the left side, you have like the limbo area, and they kind of go in this little swirl, like anyway, it's pretty cool. And let's see. So yeah, and then the discard pile just on the right side. All the door cards are up along the top. It's just very, very well done. You got the little shuffle, whenever you need to shuffle cards. Anyway, very, very fun game. And it has a, excuse me, they have a special release price right now for 99 cents. So for $1, this should be an instant get this now, in my opinion, because it is a fantastic solitaire game. If you like solitaire games, definitely pick it up. If you're a fan of Onirim already and are curious, okay, how well is this handled for the board game, or for the digital app, you will not be disappointed, in my opinion. I only wish that we can get more content, and that's a good thing. So that shows you that they did a great job with it, and hopefully if they get enough interest, maybe they will come out with an expansion, or some of the expansions within app purchases. I would easily spend the money to get those as well, and maybe even unlock. I've been looking at too many Kickstarters, or even get 2-player mode or something like that on there. So I would, that's my shout out to Asmodee Digital. I would like to see that. I know that others will want to see that too once they have the chance to play this game. So anyway, that is my Hallelujah Caesar review today. Asmodee Digital pumping these awesome board game apps out. Loving it. And just one more quick thing. Jaipur, one of my absolute favorite 2-player games, is on their on the slate to come out as well, and very, very excited about that. I saw a screenshot. So excited for yet another Asmodee Digital game. It's going to be amazing. The artwork on it is different than the game, which kind of threw me off. I was looking at it and I was like, I don't know, but I know Asmodee Digital is going to do a fantastic job with it. So that is Hallelujah Caesar review today. Go check out the Asmodee Digital lineup of games. They are fantastic. Especially go grab Onirim while it is still 99 cents. And hey, everyone, have a great day. We'll see if I get to record more audio reviews in the future. Thanks for listening, and provide any feedback to me. I'm trying out this for the first time, so appreciate any feedback. And have a good one. We'll see you on the other side.